Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with us for part 2 of our series, Relax Your Mind and Manifest Everything You Want. So if you hung out with us for part 1, you already know we've been looking at how this ancient Stoic wisdom can just completely transform our modern, chaotic lives. Today, we're diving deep into the art of detachment and really mastering your mindset. So take a deep breath, kind of just let go of all the noise from your day, and let's get centered.
All right, let's kick this off with a really powerful image. I want you to picture an artist painting a masterpiece. Now, if that artist is totally obsessed with making literally every single brushstroke absolutely perfect, constantly stressing about how the critics are going to judge it, they're never going to get into that creative flow, right? That heavy pressure just ruins the art entirely. But when they completely detach from the final result, when they just focus on the actual act of painting, something magical happens. They get fully immersed in the moment. The work feels effortless. And ironically, that is exactly when they produce their greatest work.
But before we go any further, I need you to really internalize this one core truth. Your thoughts are not you. Just let that sink in for a second. Your thoughts are not you. The anxieties buzzing around in your head, the doubts, those little fears about tomorrow, they're just passing weather. You are the sky behind it all. And once you create that separation between who you truly are and those fleeting anxieties, that's when real mental peace actually begins.
So how do we actually get there? Well, our journey today follows a really clear, structured path. We're going to hit 3 specific steps. Step 1 is detach from outcome. Step 2, master your mindset. And step 3, focus on the present. So let's jump right into step 1, detach from outcome.
This principle of detachment, it honestly applies to literally every single area of your life. But it is incredibly obvious in our relationships. We've all seen someone try way too hard to impress someone else, right? Their energy feels super needy, really forced. And honestly, it just pushes people away. But when someone is just confident, completely at ease with themselves, and completely unbothered by a specific outcome, they naturally draw people in. They aren't acting out of fear, they just trust that whatever is meant to happen will happen.
And the exact same thing goes for how we view success. Society kind of traps us in this really rigid checklist. You know the one, graduate by this age, make this exact amount of money, get married by 30, get that fancy job title. And if life deviates even a little bit from this straight line plan, people just spiral into profound self-doubt. But true success, it's almost never a straight, predictable path. It is full of twists, delays, and unexpected opportunities. If you're gripping too tightly to one specific outcome, you might literally walk right past a much better one that life is trying to hand you.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, but honestly, that's really hard in practice. How do we actually catch ourselves? How do we recognize when our attachments are just getting in our own way? That is exactly the right question, and the answer requires some pretty radical honesty. I want you to take a second right now and ask yourself, what am I holding on to too tightly? What specific goal, expectation, or outcome is causing you so much stress right now? Now, just imagine releasing your grip on it. Not giving up on your ambition, not at all, but simply trusting that whatever happens, you are going to be okay.
And releasing that grit brings us perfectly to step 2, master your mindset. Look, life is going to throw curveballs at you constantly. That's a given. We can't control the economy, we can't control unexpected roadblocks, but we absolutely control our internal world. The difference between people who crumble under pressure and those who actually thrive, it isn't luck. It's the conscious shift from just blindly reacting to whatever happens to thoughtfully responding with internal control. Because if you don't learn to master your mind, believe me, your mind is going to master you. There's this quote I absolutely love from the psychologist William James. He said, "The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another." This is exactly what the Stoics taught. You do not have to believe every single thought that pops into your head, and you definitely don't have to let every difficult moment define you. Just think about how this plays out in our day-to-day lives. Picture yourself having an absolutely terrible week at work. You've made a couple of mistakes, and your boss is practically breathing down your neck. Now, a fixed mindset tells you, man, I'm terrible at this, I'm totally failing. And that thought, it completely traps you in doubt. But a growth mindset reframes the whole situation. It says, okay, I'm learning. Every mistake is actually teaching me something. This pressure is just forcing me to grow. It literally turns a struggle directly into an opportunity. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca summed this up perfectly when he said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." It's exactly like lifting weights at the gym. Every setback, every single frustrating email, every high-pressure moment, it is literally just resistance training for your brain. If you never face resistance, you never build any strength. Right, but when you're right in the thick of a stressful situation, it is so incredibly easy to spiral. How do we actually catch those negative thoughts before they just completely take over? You do it by paying incredibly close attention to your own inner dialogue. The second you feel that downward spiral starting, you have to hit the pause button and ask yourself, what thought will I choose right now? Are you going to choose fear and doubt, or are you going to choose to see an opportunity to reframe things? The power there is entirely in your choice.
And making that choice requires us to step into step 3, focus on the present.
You know, so much of our daily stress basically comes from two places. Either we're obsessing over past regrets, or we're just drowning in anxiety about the future. We've got to bring our focus back to the right now. Think of your mind like a garden. It's incredibly fertile soil. Whatever you plant in there is exactly what's going to grow and eventually take over. So if you spend your present moments planting seeds of fear and anxiety, worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened yet, weeds are going to absolutely choke your mind. But if you deliberately plant seeds of strength, clarity, and resilience right now, in this exact moment, that is how a powerful mindset blooms.
So here is the crucial takeaway. Let this truth really anchor you. The only thing you can ever control is this moment, right now. You can't control yesterday, and you certainly can't control tomorrow. Your entire sphere of influence exists solely in the present second.
Okay, this is all incredibly powerful wisdom, but how do we actually put this into practice, like every single day? Let's break it down. I've got 3 actionable daily exercises for your Stoic practice.
Here's your daily protocol. Number 1, detachment. Every single morning, remind yourself that ultimate outcomes are simply out of your control. You only control your effort and your discipline. Number 2, mindset reframe. Throughout the day, catch yourself when you say, "I need this to happen," and consciously change it to, "I trust that whatever happens is for my growth." And number 3, present moment. Whenever you feel that familiar anxiety creeping in today, just stop, take a deep breath, and immerse yourself completely in whatever physical action you're doing right then. Washing the dishes, typing an email, really listening to a friend, just be here. If you start practicing these 3 steps, I promise you'll begin to watch your stress just melt away. So ask yourself, what is one outcome you can surrender today to reclaim your peace of mind? Really think about it. And hey, we aren't done yet. Part 3 is coming next. Focus on process. How to fall in love with daily actions instead of results. You definitely won't want to miss it. See you then.